In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a quick tutorial on how to do the granny stripe. This is a timeless stitch because it's perfect for beginners as well as a staple for seasoned crocheters. Simply by changing color or stripe patterns, you can change the look of this stitch and reuse it time and time again while still resulting in a gorgeous, unique pattern. This is a 2-row repeat, but I'm going to share a couple of tips along the way that will make this so quick and easy to master, you won't even need a written pattern. As always, there are timestamps along the progress line to skip to your point of interest, so let's go ahead and get started. This is called a granny stripe because we're using a traditional stitch called the granny cluster that we typically see in a granny square. And all that means is that we're going to be creating 3 double crochets into the same stitch. To begin, create a slip knot to your hook and create a chain using a multiple of 3 plus 1 at the very end for your turning chain. For example, I am doing a chain of 30 plus 1 at the very end, giving me a total of 31. To begin row 1, create 1 double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. This is essentially giving you the appearance of 2 double crochets for your side. Now this will be important to remember later when you start memorizing the sequence. Now we're going to start the granny clusters. Skip 2 chains and place 3 double crochets into the 3rd stitch. Yarn over, going into the stitch, pull your yarn through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's a double crochet. Repeat this 2 more times. Yarn over, going into the stitch, pull your yarn through, pull through 2, pull through 2. Again, yarn over, going into the stitch, pull your yarn through, pull through 2, pull through 2. There's your first granny cluster. Now skip 2 again and repeat into the 3rd chain, 3 double crochets. And now we're just going to continue this all the way along, skipping 2 chains and creating a cluster in every 3rd stitch. Once you come to the end and you have 3 chains remaining, in that very last chain, instead of doing another cluster, do 2 double crochets only. This is going to complete your side to match the side and 2 double crochets that you started with. Quick little tip here, if you're finding that your work is a little bit tight with that foundation chain, I would recommend that you go up 1 hook size for your chain and then continue on with the rest of your pattern with your regular hook size. Chain 3 and turn, and now you're ready for row 2. The chain 3 is going to serve as your first double crochet and the side for row 2. Now notice that we're only using 1 double crochet for row 2. That's going to be important later. And now we're ready to start our sequence of clusters. Working into the first space, create your cluster, 3 double crochets. Continue creating clusters between the clusters from the previous row. To complete row 2, we're going to do a double crochet into the very last stitch. You can either do it at the top of that final double crochet, or you can actually fit it between the 2 double crochets. It's totally up to you. We're just creating our side to match the side that we began with. I like to change colors after every 2 rows, so I'll go ahead and show you how I go about doing that. You can fasten on and off however you like best, but what I like to do is clip the yarn and then pull things back until I have 2 remaining loops on my hook. What I'm going to do is finish that last double crochet with my new color of yarn. So again, I have 2 loops on my hook. I pull in the new color, pull the yarn through, and now I've just completed that double crochet and fastened on a new color. Chain 3, turn, and continue on with the pattern. We're getting ready to start row 3, and if you notice, for the first row we started our sides with 2 double crochets, and then for row 2 we started our side with 1 double crochet. And that is our sequence. We're just going to be alternating between these two. That's all you really need to remember to get this pattern correct. 2, 1, 2, 1. So with that in mind, we have done our chain 3 to represent our first double crochet. Now we need to do another double crochet for the side. You can either do it into the top of the stitch or into the space. And that's all there is to it. Now we're just going to continue on with our clusters in between the spaces. Once you've reached the end, add 2 double crochets into that very last space or into the top of that last double crochet. Chain 3 and turn. Now for row 4, remember the chain 3 always serves as our first double crochet. For the previous row we did 2 double crochets. Now it's time to do just 1. So in that next available space, begin with your clusters. And once you've reached the end, we just need to add a double crochet to complete the side. Remember, you can place it in between the 2 double crochets or into the very top of that very last DC. And that's all there is to it. Just continue alternating row 3 and 4 until you reach the end of your project. For the border, I added single crochets all the way around, or you can do the same thing with double crochets. You can either finish your blanket with this or use it as a foundation to build a more elaborate one. For this sample, I added 5 single crochets in the corners and 2 single crochets on the sides. I really wasn't focused on keeping track of a chain count. I focused more on making the edges nice and straight. For the foundation chain side, I did 2 single crochets in the spaces and then a single crochet in the tops of the chains with clusters. And then for the top edge, or the last row, I just added single crochets in the top of all the double crochets. Again though, I was more focused on making sure it stayed straight instead of keeping a chain count. A quick tip, if it's feeling too tight, add more single crochets, and if it's feeling too wavy, use less single crochets. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you'd like some ideas on how to create a nice color combination for your blanket, here's a video that I think you'll find helpful.